All right, time to dive into Umbria. You were not kidding about all this material. Articles, blogs, even forum threads. You really want to get this right.
Sounds like someone's got a serious case of wanderlust. And you want the real Umbria experience, not just the touristy stuff.
Exactly. No cookie-cutter vacations for this traveler. So, where do we even begin? I'm seeing 10 spots highlighted. Is that from this Narrative Nomad article?
That's the one. And a great place to start, by the way.
Yeah.
They've got a good eye for the hidden gems. Speaking of which, Perugia's first on our list.
Perugia. Ah, the chocolate festival capital. Okay, you got me. Euro chocolate is tempting.
No, we'll get to the chocolate, don't worry. But Perugia's more than just a sugar rush, It's got this whole other side. Jazz, for one.
Jazz in Perugia.
You bet. There was actually this blog post you sent, mentioned this underground bar, Cantina Bacco, I think it was called. Live music tucked away in these medieval alleyways. Sounds incredible, right?
Okay, underground jazz bar. You've officially got my attention.
And get this, those underground passages.
Yeah.
Those are Etruscan.
Wait, seriously? Like pre-Roman Etruscan?
The real deal. Imagine walking those tunnels, centuries old. Talk about atmosphere.
That's mind-blowing. See, this is why I love these deep dives. Speaking of ancient history, we have to talk about Assisi. Giotto's frescoes in the Basilica of St. Francis. Those are legendary.
Absolutely iconic. That basilica is more than just a church. It's like a pilgrimage site for art and spirituality. And if you're looking for something a little more off the beaten path, I was really struck by that travel blog you sent about the Hermitage of Carceri.
Oh, right, where St. Francis himself went to get away from it all.
Exactly. Apparently the energy there is incredible. Even just reading about it, I felt this sense of peace.
It's amazing how Umbria can offer that kind of serenity, you know? But you also mentioned wanting a little drama on your trip. Well, let me introduce you to Orvieto, perched right on a volcanic cliff. That's dramatic.
Talk about an entrance. Orvieto is a stunner. But there's so much more to it than just the view. Remember that article about the Duomo?
The cathedral.
Okay.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Right. That facade, the mosaics, the sculptures, it's a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
It took them over 300 years to build it.
300.
Yup. Talk about a long-term project. And that's not all. Underneath those charming streets, you've got, well, more history.
Yeah.
A whole network of Etruscan tunnels.
Get out of here.
No, seriously. Escape routes, storage areas. They were using those things for centuries. It's like a whole hidden city right under your feet.
Etruscan tunnels under a city. I don't even know what to say. That's going straight to the top of the itinerary.
It's amazing, isn't it? And while we're in Orvieto, we have to talk about the wine.
Oh, right. I did read something about their Classico, yeah.
It's interesting. There was this whole thread you sent from some wine forum. They're saying the volcanic soil makes a big difference, gives it this crispness, a certain minerality.
See, that's the kind of detail you don't get from a guidebook. Although, as much as I love a good hidden tunnel, part of me also wants to experience that slower pace, you know? That's got to be where Lake Trasimeno comes in, right?
Ah, yes. Lake Trasimeno, the very essence of tranquil Umbria. It's not just about relaxing, though. I was reading that article about sustainable travel. And apparently one of the islands, Pulvis Island, it's completely car-free. They've got this whole ecotourism thing going on.
No cars at all. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you rent bikes, hike, even kayaking, I think they said.
That sounds amazing. Okay, so we've got serene lakes, we've got underground cities, but we can't forget about those festivals, right? You mentioned one in Gubbio, something about a race.
The Seri Festival. How could I forget? Okay, picture this. Medieval town, right? Thousands of people lining the streets. And then these three teams, they're racing uphill.
Racing uphill. What are they racing with? Wheelbarrows full of pasta.
Even better, giant candles.
Giant candles.
Yeah, they're called Seri, and I mean giant. We're talking like 10 meters tall, hundreds of kilograms, each one topped with a statue of a saint.
Hold on, those are less like candles, more like, I don't even know, moving buildings.
Pretty much. And the whole town goes crazy for it. Everyone's dressed up in their team colors, cheering. It's a whole thing.
You had me at giant candles. Seriously, that sounds unforgettable. Okay, I have to ask about Todi. The photos you sent of that view. Wow.
Todi is definitely postcard worthy, especially at sunset. But it's more than just a pretty face, You were asking about the Church of San Fortunato.
Yeah, what's the story there?
Well, I was reading this article all about Umbrian architecture, and apparently San Fortunato, it's a mix of Romanesque and Gothic styles. Plus, they've got the tomb of this poet, Jacopone da Todi.
Oh, wow. Okay, enough about churches and poets. I have a more important question time for wine. Where do we find the good stuff in Umbria? I know Montefalco is on the list, but
Yeah.
details, please.
Ah, you're speaking my language now. Montefalco is definitely known for its Sagrantino, but there's more to it than that. You know how you love those off-the-beaten-path
Oh,
places?
you know me too well.
Well, I was reading this blog post, and apparently in the hills around Montefalco, there are these little wineries, family-run places making these amazing, lesser-known wines.
Okay, you've officially made me a very happy traveler. Smaller wineries, hidden gems. That's what I'm all about. Speaking of hidden gems, what about Bavaria? I read something about a medieval festival.
Oh, the Mercato della Gaite. That's not just a festival, it's like stepping back in time. They go all out, crafts, music. They even use medieval currency.
Seriously.
Yeah. And I was reading this forum thread. People were talking about where to find the best costumes and everything.
Now that's dedication. Okay, before we get too lost in the Middle Ages, we have to talk about the grand finale. A waterfall that's taller than Niagara Falls and man-made. I got to hear more about this Cascata del Marmor. A waterfall taller than Niagara Falls that people built. Okay, I'm going to have to explain this
I
one.
know, right? It's hard to grasp the scale of it. But yeah, the Romans, they diverted the Velino River, built a whole canal system.
The Romans, we're talking ancient Roman engineering here.
The real deal. And it still works. I was reading this article. They called it one of Umbria's best-kept secrets.
I can see why they kept it secret. Who needs Niagara when you've got this going on?
Right. And it's not just a static thing either. They have these scheduled water releases.
Yeah.
Turns it into this huge spectacle.
Wait, hold on. Scheduled? Like they turn it on and off?
Pretty much. They've got it timed out so the water builds up. Then whoosh, this huge cascade, the light on the water. Apparently it's incredible for photos.
Okay, that's it. I'm booking a flight. Seriously, this whole deep dive has been amazing.
I know, right? Umbria is something else.
It really is. If you had to pick one thing, what would you say makes it so special?
Ooh, that stuff. But I think it's that mix of old and new. It's like you've got ancient history everywhere you look, but it's not stuck in the past. You know, there's this energy to it.
That's a great way to put it. It's alive.
Exactly. It's like stepping into a storybook, but with better food.
And wine. Don't forget the wine. Well, for those listening, I hope this has inspired you to add Umbria to your travel plans.
Seriously, put it on the list. You won't regret it. And hey, who knows what other hidden gems we'll uncover on the next deep dive, right?
Until then, happy travels, everyone.
Happy travels.